Jennifer Guns and team,
Yeah, from the Cancer Society. Yeah.
because I had Miss Jennifer Guns. So I
And
noticed
team from the. I forget I got on this. We don't remember. Yeah.
everybody, I thought everybody was gonna join us. It's here. It's here, here. Sierra loading the link. Yeah, everybody. Oh, but I didn't have an introduction for him. I was introducing everybody. So I was kind of, okay, this is my stuff. All media houses, welcome to the FIM Roadshow for the Ministry of Finance, the Inland Revenue Department. About Financial Information Month. Financial Information Month is a regional financial, economic, business, and entrepreneurial business campaign executed by the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, ECCU, since 2002. Since the collaborative effort of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, ECCU members, government, financial and academic institutions, the media, other private public sector institutions, and community-based groups. The month forms parts of the ECCU Financial and Economic Education Program, coordinated by the ECCB. The program incorporates a series of initiatives designed to support the attainment of the goals of a financially developed and vibrant ECCU region that fosters strong, sustainable economic growth for the improvement of the well-being of the citizenry. The theme for FIM is financial empowerment through education. First, I would like to make a presentation to the Cancer Society. Ms. Jennifer Gums and team, on behalf of the Financial Information Month FIM partners, we would like to make this presentation to the Cancer Society. The contribution is a check in the amount of EC $2,000 and a bag of FIM goodies.
Oh, come on, yeah, forget. Okay.
Thank you very much on behalf of FIM.
Okay. Okay, I'd like to say a few words on the behalf of the Anguilla Cancer Society. I would like to thank the FIM partners for the generous contributions to the society. The funds would go a long way. The month of September, we were able to donate $11,200 for. We need to realize that as a nonprofit organization, we're always spending money, and every money that comes in, it helps us to replenish so that we could be able to give to persons in need. So we just want to really say a big thank you, because the needs in Anguilla are great. Now we're actually seeing persons in their 30s being diagnosed with cancer. And as we always say, cancer is everybody's business, because cancer has no face, it has no name, and it could affect anyone. So on the behalf of the society, we want to say a generous thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay.
All the best.
Thank you.
Secondly, I would like to introduce the team here today. I am Tavia Nelson Connell, who's the partner representative for the Government of Anguilla, Ministry of Finance. As the partner representative, I'm very involved in the planning and execution of the Financial Information Month activities. Next to me is Lonnie Hobson, who's the controller of Inland Revenue Department. Next to him is Kendall, sorry, is Keisha Brooks, who is the Assistant Controller, Tax Services at the Inland Revenue Department. Next to her is Kendall Richardson, who's the Assistant Controller. Next to him, we have Ludian Leverett, who's the Principal Assistant Secretary, PAS, acting in the Ministry of Finance, and also the chairperson of the Procurement Board. Next to her, we have Sierra Richardson, who's the Chief Procurement Officer, acting in the Ministry of Finance. They will share their roles and give information on the processes and their work scope.
All right. Good morning to members of the media, those listening in via social media, radio, and all other platforms. I am delightful to join you today as we kick off the Financial Information Month, acronym FIM, an important initiative aimed at enhancing financial literacy, promoting sound financial management, and fostering a culture of accountability and transparency across all sectors of society. This year, Financial Information Month comes as a crucial time as we continue to navigate the economic landscape with resilience and adaptability. I am proud to report that the Inland Revenue Department has had a strong performance in 2024, exceeding many of our revenue targets. This success is a result of the diligent efforts by the team and the robust implementation of policies and reforms designed to strengthen compliance and enhance collections. We have seen steady growth in key revenue streams such as the goods and services tax, property tax, and contributions from our digital assets, particularly in the .ai domain. We are also privileged to have our colleagues, if you could pan over to the right, they're visiting us here from Turks and Caicos Islands for the remainder of the week. Their presence speaks of the strong relationships between our two nations, and we are excited to collaborate and share knowledge and best practices to further enhance our tax administration and public finance management. This exchange will allow for us to grow in capacity and implement innovative strategies that can only lead to greater success by the territories. As part of our initiatives for FIM, the Inland Revenue Department has undertaken a number of key initiatives aimed at promoting better financial understanding among the public. These include workshops, outreach programs, and campaigns designed to improve compliance and educate taxpayers on their responsibilities. We have also engaged with businesses and the wider public to address questions around different things such as our systems, offer assistance in managing filings, as well as provide resources for effective financial planning. As we move forward, I encourage everyone to take full advantage of the activities and opportunities offered during the Financial Information Month. This is not just about improving our financial system, but about empowering individuals and businesses to take charge of their financial futures. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to a productive and insightful Financial Information Month. Thank you very much.
And your controller?
Yes, sir. Comptroller Inland Revenue Department. Yes, sir. Keisha?
Good morning, everyone. Like Fabia mentioned, I am Keisha Brooks, Assistant Comptroller over the Taxpayer Services Unit, and we're of course happy that we are able to share in this partnership again with the FIM, with ECCU and the Financial Information Month. Of course, we welcome the media. Thank you for always being here to support us and make sure that we are able to present the information that is necessary for our taxpayers to continue to perform at the highest levels. Without the taxpayers, we are unable to do what we need to do, and it makes our job a bit more challenging if we're not providing the relevant information needed to ensure that we are guiding our taxpayers in the right direction so that they can ensure that they are meeting their taxes, their requirements to complete and stay compliant with filing taxes.
Good morning. My name is Kendall Richardson. I'm the Deputy Comptroller for the Inland Revenue Department, responsible for compliance, collections, and audits. I wish you all a happy Financial Information Month. I welcome you all to the Inland Revenue Department to gather the necessary information to become voluntary compliant as much as possible. And we do have the responsibility to provide you with as much information as possible, and we will meet that commitment as well.
All right, Kendall. And
Hi, good morning. My name is Richardson. I am the acting principal assistant secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and as such, I'm the chair of the Procurement Board acting as well. As you know, procurement has three basic components. We have the Procurement Office, the Procurement Board, and the Procurement Committees. So the Procurement Board is responsible for policy and legislation, and for overall management of the procurement function. Oversight, not management. And the largest remit is actually the award of contracts following the evaluation process. So Sierra will tell you more about the work of the Procurement Office. So thanks again for having us, and happy Financial Information Month.
all right, Sierra.
Good morning. I'm Sierra Richardson, the Acting Chief Procurement Officer for the Government of Angola. Right now, I am responsible for the management, supervision, and administration of the Public Procurement and Contract Administration Program. That means I would manage large procurements, preside over public openings, ensure that departments and entities are compliant. That's really what our office does.
Yeah, all right. Now we can begin. Mr. Hobson. Some of the folks in Angola somewhat are kind of confused as to what attracts GST. I came to the store as to what does it attract GST. Even this morning, I was at the store and I saw some person having that conversation back and forth. You know, in terms of what are non-GST items and what are those that attract GST.
Okay.
Clarity. Can we speak a bit about that?
Yes, sir. All right. So in the supermarkets and stores, we have a list of zero-rated items.
Yes.
It's a very wide list. Actually, Angola is probably one of the more generous countries where a VAT is offered, where we have a larger complement of goods that are zero-rated. That exists of all fruits and vegetables, meats, chickens, fish, eggs, just about all those items that are needed to create a
You said meats, right? Meats in general? Meats in general?
general
They are GST rated?
zero rated at this time. Chicken, all parts of the chicken, whereas in some countries it's just a certain portion of the chicken that is zero rated. So from the initial start of it, we would have expanded that list just to make it, again, everyone could kind of have a meal where you don't have to kind of put yourself out of pocket, so to speak, where you're affected by goods and services tax. However, we've been receiving some persons are feeling that while these items are zero rated, it's not really being felt when they go to purchase these goods. Multiple factors would play into that. Of course, you know, we have issues with shipping. So while the items, most cases, come in from the US, from most of our importers, from start, those prices are already kind of up there, high in cost from the start, and then the shipping costs, etc. And then on the ground, locally as well, in the operations, they would also experience high electricity bills. So I think what happening is when they are sitting to spread the costs, those items are also being affected, as you see with pricing. So in most cases, it's kind of a little bit counterproductive in what we're looking to achieve to kind of keep those prices as low as possible. So something would need to be done to kind of review. The shopkeepers, we would have reached out to them. They're stating that they've, you know, done as much as possible that they could do to try as much as possible to keep the prices within a lower price
So for clarity
category.
though, vegetables, meats, those are zero rated.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
so folks should hear that.
Yes.
And Deputy Controller Keisha, a bit more
Assistant
Controller, a bit more about what you are. I mean, let's speak a bit about the taxes that are being paid here, just for clarity for persons who are listening to us, what we pay here, what people like us civilians pay at this department, water bills, and what we pay.
Um, well, of course, you know we're the main tax hub in Anguilla.
Yes.
So people come to renew their business licenses, well, apply. They have to go through the application process at the
Yes.
Ministry of Finance. Once they're approved, then they will come here to register the business, and the registration, it's annual. Once you have been approved, you pay that initial license, then it's an annual fee going forward. So we accept payments for business licenses, driver's licenses, property tax, goods and service tax, universal social levy, which was formerly the ISL. We even take dog licenses, vehicle licenses. We cover a wide scope of different taxes and licenses here at Inland Revenue. Stamp duty, we can go on and on. So that's the nature of our business. My unit in particular deals with the registration. We deal with the education. We deal if persons have any queries in regards to any tax types. You come in, and my staff, they're very knowledgeable, so they're able to provide that adequate information to the taxpayers, informing them of the first stage, the last stage, what is required, and how to keep you on track with filing your taxes on a monthly basis so that we can try to avoid you from encountering any penalties or interest accumulating on your accounts.
Persons paying their bills, I mean, you come to this department to pay your bills. But what about online now? Is that offered as well here?
Yes.
Can you pay online for ease of?
Yes, we are definitely pushing our online services. It makes life way easier. It's more convenient. You can go online. You can pay your USL return. You can file your GST return. So you can file and pay online. We are working to extend the services that are offered via the online portal. So we're hoping by 2025, persons will be able to renew their business licenses on the portal as well. And we are also hoping that we can streamline some other services via the online portal.
Yeah, and your URL online. How can we find you online? What is it? Your
We have our website, which is ird.gov.ai. And if persons want to register for the online portal, you go to services.gov.ai. Of course, if you need more information, you can always come into the Inland Revenue. We are always willing and able to assist you. We can help you get set up with the online portal. We can provide you with all the information if you want to do it on your own. So if you have queries, you can also email inlandrevenue@gov.ai. That's our general email. So we can answer whatever questions you have and direct you to the correct source.
All right. Thank you. And yes, go ahead.
In reference to filing online, are there penalties for?
The penalties are straight across the board, whether you file physically or if you file online. So what we do, we encourage persons, don't wait until that due date. Yes, the due date may be the 10th of the next month for the USL, or it might be the filings at least by the 1st or the 5th of that month. It saves you time. It saves you from getting into that, cut-off period for the deadline, to avoid you getting those penalties. Because after 12 p.m. on that due date, the penalties will hit your accounts. Automatic.
What are the penalties like?
For the USL, it's $50 per day. $500 per day, or 10%, whichever, based on your filing, plus 20% for late payment, plus 1% per month. So the penalties are very high. So we try our best to encourage. We send reminders. We put updates. We share information on our social medias, trying to encourage people. Please file on time to avoid getting these penalties.
And it's for a reason as well, Mr. Hammer, and
to enforce compliance.
Let's assume that speaking of our lawyers over there, if I'm going to be late, can I call or email you to say, hey, I'm having difficulties, etc. Do you take those consideration?
we can acknowledge it. However, we cannot extend the time based on that. So what would naturally happen, when you do file, the late penalty charges will kick in. and there is an option to take that to a penalty waiver committee.
Really?
Right. So you have to write in reference to them addressing whatever the reason that caused you to be late. Once that penalty committee meets, and then just based on the reason, they will determine whether it's warrant having that penalty waived at the time.
And the committee meets how often? Committee?
Well, it's supposed to meet quarterly. Right now, we are trying to finalize a piece of legislation. What happened was, it was always $1,000 where the comptroller was allowed to waive. But as you quite naturally see now that we have GST on board, the penalties are pretty high. So we have increased that up to $20,000. However, we just have to finalize that to make it active in law, and then we'll be able to initiate that. So what we're going to do in the first instance, the penalty waiver committee is going to meet a little bit more frequently, because we have a lot of backed up cases where we didn't get to take it to the penalty waiver committee to try to get those out of the way and see what we can do as far as either the penalty will be waived, or else we have to work with some sort of payment plans for a person to pay those fines.
You say you have inspectors, IRD inspectors. What are their role? What are their responsibilities as inspectors?
Well, we don't call them inspectors. So we have either tax officers, else you would have a compliance officer or auditor, right? So the compliance officer will go out just to meet the businesses to just verify that they're doing things correctly. We don't really inspect per se, as far as maybe how you're thinking, that we go out and check to see prices are displayed and those kind of things. While we are there, we would, if we identify certain things, we will highlight it to those store owners, etc., to try and make them correct certain things. However, we only work within the limit of what legislation allows us to.
All right. Okay. All right, Mr. Richardson, your compliance is a tough area. A bit more about what that entails in the department. What would you, what your department entails on compliance? You have to comply, right? But a bit more about what you are.
Well, firstly, I'll say, although Ms. Brooks highlighted that we have the filing penalty of $500 per day for GST, we do have a very high compliance rate.
Yeah.
Some may say the compliance is partly due to the high penalty that exists, but it just goes to show that we also provide the taxpayers with all the necessary tools to be able to comply. And when I say necessary tools, I mean education, platforms, software, and any other information that should be available.
You mentioned it's tool material. Like, what do you offer? You mail us, what do you mail us, reminders?
Well, we implemented a new system, the MTS system. It's referred to as the multi-tax solution system. It allows them to file online from anywhere in the world, 24/7. Previously, when we had other taxes like a commission tax, you had to file physically. That was only 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. But now that we move towards the goods and services tax, you can file 24/7, 7 days a week, in the comfort of your home. So it's much easier to file, it's much easier to comply. And although the penalty is there and it's very harsh, we have a very high compliance rate of high 90s every month since implementation.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Kendall. And what you do here. Let's speak a bit about that before we get to the other areas quickly here. And that will
Well, it's basically the function of a department head is the unit of the KS, finance. In finance, of course, we can see the different units of the ministry. We have several units, budget, procurement, compliance, and the finance unit. And so it's basically about managing those, and a large part of it is also, like we said, the procurement board function as well.
procurement is a story, and Angela has always been a story. A bit more about procurement. How does Villa work? And for those that, some of us might believe procurement is a difficult area, maybe a dark area. How does Villa work?
It's not as dark as people think, and it's not as difficult as people think. It's just a matter of planning. I know a lot of people would say that it keeps back projects, etc., but that's not what it does. it's
hard
a
to progress
matter
around.
of if you planned properly, then you would have carried out your procurement in time to have finished in time to have your contract awarded by the time you want it to be in place. So it's a lot about planning. It's about being responsible fiscally. And when we talk about people talk about value for money, I think it means we're looking for the lowest cost. We're never looking for the lowest cost. We're looking for the lowest cost that will give us the technical requirements that we need. So, in terms of how it functions, we have the separation of duties that we speak about all the time. The procurement the procurement entity will provide us with documents. It will come to us via their procurement committee. The procurement committee would get the procurement office's approval for the document. It is ready to go out. It goes out. It needs to be revised. We'll give them
Suggestions and
the procurement
comments.
office will give them suggestions for improvement, and then it will go out when it is deemed ready. Once it goes out, there's a period of time in which bidders can ask questions, and we will respond to every question that is asked, in writing, of course. There's a deadline date for that as well that will be applied. So if your questions are as and rules and
laws.
yeah. So compliance. So see how I'm saying it? You have the procurement entity, then you have the procurement committee, and if it's deemed approvable, if they recommended an award, then the award is made. If they recommend no award,
The rest those fields, tell me a bit about how that will work. So.
well, the process I explained, have the need is not the persons who will, they're not the ones who will award the contract.
Okay.
That we've not the ones who will award the contract.
Okay.
That we've put some legislation to chambers, so we're actually waiting for that legislation to go through. So we're actually waiting for that legislation to go through. So we'll be
That would be the department with the need. They would submit their needs to us. They would prepare, so we have that over the opening of the bids publicly, and pass the submitted bids on to the procurement committee, who then handles the evaluation, who will manage the evaluation committee. Once the evaluation committee is done, they'll submit their report to me, and then I pass it on to the board to either approve or deny.
Right. So in the chain of command, you answer to the board.
I answer to the board. Yes.
All right. Okay. Anything else you may have missed out on? Opinion, Mr. Don, if you wish to share with people about it before we wrap it up?
No, we just want to encourage taxpayers to make sure come out and visit the IRD. We're doing our best to try to allow the ease of doing business for them. As Kishore mentioned earlier, we have a payment gateway. We are also in talks with the bank to try to make that payment gateway even more modernized. So that way, eventually one day you may not have no lines in the IRD where everybody could make their payments via online, via whether you can scan a QR code for your text, and those kind of options that we're trying to do. And we're also going to have kiosks within the Inland Revenue Department for taxpayers who probably don't have access to technology, where we could assist them here in the IRD to complete their filings. So we are always working on the system, helping to build it up and make it a lot better than what it is, just to assist the taxpayers in the future going forward.
All right. Javier, closing?
Well, there's nothing else really to say, Hammer. Thank you so much, and to the other media houses for being here and for going through the FIM roadshow with us. We say thank you.
All right, so thank you guys for being here. And again, this has been
Yeah, sorry. Just before we close, we'd like to invite the public. We're doing some trivia and giveaway items. So if you're visiting the Inland Revenue Department, you can come in. We have some great gifts for you. So we'll just ask a few questions. If you're able to answer, of course, you will win a free bottle. Yes, we have a bottle. We also promoting our vanity plates. We're encouraging persons to come in and complete the application for the vanity plates. And we have some other packages of information that we'll share with the public, which includes, of course, if you're a short-term accommodation, you need to register for your GST and other information. We have great stuff. Come on and visit the Inland Revenue Department.
Today, right?
Today.
Okay, so thank you guys. All the best.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for coming out. Appreciate
Do you have
it.
a question for us?